उसको वो कर लो, बड़ा कर लो। ये रहा।
ಹಣೆಯಲಿ ಆಡಿದನೋ ರಂಗ ತದ್ದಿಂ ಕಿನ್ನತ್ತು ಕಾಳಿಂಗನ ಫಣೆಯಲಿ ತದ್ದಿಂ ಕಿನ್ನತ್ತು ತದ್ದಿಂ ಕಿನ್ನತ್ತು ಕಾಳಿಂಗನ ಫಣೆಯಲಿ ತದ್ದಿಂ ಕಿನ್ನತ್ತು ತದ್ದಿಂ ಕಿನ್ನತ್ತು ತದ್ದಿಂ ಕಿನ್ನತ್ತು ಕಾಳಿಂಗನ ಫಣೆಯಲಿ ಆಡಿದನೋ ರಂಗ.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Deepavali greetings to all of you. A very warm welcome to this very eminent panel of speakers. This is the second in the series of conversations being curated under the umbrella of Spanda 25 to mark 25 years of Spanda's journey. This conversation, the dance of music, a panel discussion on music for dance ensembles, features a very, very interesting lineup of artists and a very warm welcome to all of you. And thank you so much for taking time off your busy schedules to join us on Sunday night, the day after Diwali, to discuss this very interesting topic with us. Welcome Sudha Raghuramanji, Shri Rajkumar Bharati, Shri Sai Shravanam, Shri Srijit Krishna, and of course Leelaka, who will moderate this discussion and share her own insights. Leelaka, over to you. Firstly, to share a little your insights on this audio that we just played, excerpt from Atisya composition of Shri Rajkumar Bharati, and also to take this discussion forward.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Akhila, for always supporting the arts in these times when we have to be online. So I'm grateful to you. This was just a 1 minute excerpt, perhaps for a few seconds, of an item that we called Atishaya, but actually it's a very well-known, Adidano is a very well-known traditional song of Karnataka. However, Rajkumar sir gave it his own particular twist, and it's just a small excerpt from that. Shijit's voice is there for the Jati section, and beautiful composition on the playful and joyous victories of Sri Krishna. I'd like to go to you, RKB sir, first.
Thank you, ma.
In my earliest recollections of Rukmini Devi's work, she got several of her epic dance dramas choreographed, composed by very, very eminent musicians of the time. Mysore Vasudevacharya, Ramayana, and Tiger sir, Varadacharya sir did Avataram. Then, of course, Papanasan Shivan sir did the Gita Govind, etc. In today's time, we don't see dancers going to musicians of that caliber, or even spending time on creating new works that are absolutely new, because now we are not talking about dance dramas, we are talking about ensemble work, which is different from the Margam and different from the dance dramas. Sir, when a dancer comes to you,
Yeah.
what is the most or the thing that you expect them to bring with them to the table? What is that most important ingredient?
Yeah. A clear idea of what they want to do and how they want to present it. First of all, a clean storyline, and then scene-wise description. Scene-wise, suppose they break it into scenes, 4 or 5 scenes. How are they going to do it? And what do they look for in those scenes? If they tell me what their choreo idea is, then I will also give my suggestions about music.
Right.
Basically, this is a clean storyline and a clear division into this. This first stage is this, second is that, third is that. That's how I'm moving the story around. This is how it's going to take shape. That much is enough for me. And if they bring lyrics with them,
yes,
that is very important, because sometimes they have lyrics, sometimes they do not have lyrics. The lyrics, if they are in a language with which I'm not very familiar, say Sanskrit, I know only little of Sanskrit. I need to know the meaning
correct.
of each and every word.
That's correct.
And even the Sangam song that we did, that time is really of a very high standard.
Yeah.
I need to know the meaning of each word
Correct.
for me to be able to arrive at the composition.
Correct.
Yeah.
So a dancer, sir, also comes with his or her own ideas, preset ideas. Some of them come with differing sensibilities in music.
Yes.
Some have a preference for certain ragas. We don't know why. They don't. If they come with this baggage, little baggage, of course, they're entitled to. What do you normally do to it? I mean, what do you?
Good question, a very interesting question. So what I do is I first try to understand how much of music knowledge dancer has first. Okay. Once that is, I'm very convinced about what a standard is in music. Then I accordingly talk to her. Suppose they suggest some ragas, I will sincerely try to put them, apply that in my composition. But normally what happens is I tell them that I do not decide on any ragas beforehand. Whatever the situation is, whatever the lyrics tell me, only in that mood hits me, and then I get a raga. That's how it goes. So I tell them, you please don't tell me a raga in the beginning itself. Then I have to try to do something in that. You allow me, I'll sing and show you. If you're okay, I'll proceed. Otherwise, I'll come to your line. That's the thing. And if they don't have enough material to convince me again, then I'll give my inputs.
Yeah.
Like, do you think then can we do this in this scene? It may have more scope musically and even dance-wise in for the story, for the audience to understand, to be able to appreciate. I think if you present it this way, it may be nice. So I give the inputs accordingly.
And do they make the suggestions, para patterns and jatis, or do you usually make a suggestion, or does it come naturally? Because I know with you it comes naturally.
Yeah. The thing is, but nobody normally says, don't do this, don't do this. Nobody says, except our Sai Shravanam. It's a different thing. He will, when we compose, it's a different setup. But most others don't say anything. Maximum they will say, sir, is there a chance of another raga, sir? They will ask me, is there a chance? I'll say, no worry. Mostly what happens is, the lyrics hit me and then the tune comes out. I'm no way concerned. Whatever happens, happens.
Right.
So mostly it goes through.
Right.
You see?
Right.
Mostly it goes through. Sometimes they will express, sir, can we, do you think, they'll ask very respectfully, can we try some other raga, sir? They will ask. And I said, okay. Then I'll tell them why I chose this raga. These are the things.
Yeah.
If you try alternate ragas, these will be the expressions. Are you okay with that?
Correct.
I go with whatever they say, because ultimately what I feel is they should be happy with whatever I do. That's the main thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. I'm coming back to you with some very interesting questions. But Sudha, may I come to you? I mean, I've watched you. You were singing your solo kacheris. You used to sing Margam's regular kacheris. If somebody comes with a Margam proposal to you, like an Arangetram or even a kacheri, sometimes the choice of items has already predestined the
Yes.
dancer's order of items, and it's kind of like a baked cake. You can hardly change it because the child doesn't know enough variations of javalis, padams, vatnams to throw something out and put something in. So that is as far as Markham goes. The musician doesn't have so much choice. The guru has already made some decisions. But now I see that you have started composing for ensemble work. Do you ever find yourself, um, especially with a younger dancer, giving them an idea when they have a paucity of idea, or do you expect them to come fully prepared with what they want to do?
As namaskaram to all of you. Thank you for having me, Akka, first of all, and Akila and Anna. As Anna said, most of the times they are, the young dancers especially, they are half prepared, I can say. They come with some preparatory work, like script, synopsis, partly. But many a times I'm forced to tell them about the background of classicism, first of all, if not anything else. And then I have to explain to them what will be nice, what raga will go after what, things like that. And sometimes I may even suggest some numbers suitable to their strengths. Some dancers have strengths in nritta, some have in abhinaya. Depending upon what they can actually do better, I may suggest. Not all the time I like to impose, but at the same time, if something is not right, something is not striking right to me, I then and there make it a point, so that I believe in the success of the program, not as an individual singer. So I want the program to be a successful one. So I usually suggest some numbers to them. If they are okay with that, and then if they are happy performing those, then I do help them with this.
And Sudha, if you when you've created some music for an ensemble, do you hear another voice singing it, or do you sort of hear yourself?
So it is a very long answer. I don't want to take too much time. I have divided my creative process into three parts. Me as a composer, singer, me as a composer alone, me as just a singer. I have sung productions in which Anna has done the music. I have done productions in which I have done the music and some other musicians have sung. Most of the times, it is me who's composing and also singing. Three different levels. So
Right.
three different things. So when I sing, I know exactly what the production of my voice is and what the throw is going to be, what the feel of the entire ensemble is going to be. And if I can, I have to read the synopsis at least 25 times before I attempt to start composing or discussing on any raga, as already told by Anna. I also believe in getting the lyrics if I'm going to sing the production, especially. And if I'm comfortable with the language, apart from my known languages, so if I have to come out of the comfort zone, then I have to work doubly. I have to put that extra effort before I jump into doing anything at all.
Of course.
So if I am just composing and the musicians are going to be singing, other musicians are going to be, I have to be extra cautious, because it may get, of course, many a times it gets enhanced, many a times it gets diluted also. So I have to make sure who the musicians are. Depending upon the caliber of the musicians, I do the sketch. If I'm just singing, for example, Anna's compositions, once it so happened that 60% was Anna's and 40% was mine. So I had to play two different roles, because his creative thought process had to be brought out beautifully, and in full genuine form through my voice, and the second half was completely my my own compositions, in which I had little bit of freedom to explore new ideas, which I would definitely not do. So these are some of the things that I have. I know I took a long time, but I
No,
had
no,
to say
no,
this.
no. Welcome. Shijit, we know you. Your journey has been an extremely spectacular one. I've known you since you were a student dancer, but there's a musician in you, there's a percussionist in you, a choreographer, technician, with lights and sound. I know how many times you've helped so many people, and including me. And of course, now you're a producer of shows with your Black Box, which I really commend you for having the. I think you have to be young to have the guts to create a space like that. Beautiful pocket, what we call a theatre de poche, which is a pocket theatre. It's really my has to be my favorite space now in Chennai. Uh, but you also created your own music for your dance compositions, along with your very talented wife, Jyotishmati. So, can you tell me how you go about creating music for your own work, your own ideas?
First of all, namaskaram to all. Yeah. Thank you, Lilaka, Akilaji, and Alap. Of course, I always happen to create music for my own work by myself and with my wife Jyotishmati. Whether the dance repertoire or ensemble work or dance dramas, mega productions like Masquerade or Don Quixote, I always feel it was always a journey from nothing. Of course, I will have my concept in my hand. I literally move along with that, doing all other things, thinking about, as you said, how to incorporate lights, how to think about concept, how to incorporate the sound, not literally music, the sound itself.
Yeah.
Everything always used to be behind my mind, and I planned the choreographic situations, not literally the not the final choreographed piece without the music. But I plan the choreographed situations, and simultaneously I always end up imagining, I imagine and figure out the kind of melody or the pattern I wanted to express through the music by connecting to those choreographic situations. I just literally think about the situation, not literally thinking about the first avartanam or the second avartanam when it comes within ensemble productions like thematic or whatever. It is always like it always happened. I imagine my work. I hum the tune, something like as Anna said. I don't really, for sad, I don't really plan Shivaranjani or Shubhabandhurali. I don't believe in that. Rather, I believe in notes, and I feel from Shubhabandhurali also you can create happiness if you make the Swara Prayogangal in a different sense.
Yeah.
So, but something comes, something comes from my memory or and it's from some experience, and then I hum, and then Jyoti will listen to me, and then she creates it. I mean, I don't literally sing the Swara pattern. I don't. I can only say ah, o, e, or oo, but she understands it is da or ni or ga. So and but I kind of literally create the Pallavi and then Anupallavi and the Charanam and the pattern, mostly the patterns, and then we end up creating it within the structure of that particular raga or the melodic movement. Of course, I can say that I never handed over my work, whether the lyrics or the concept, to a composer and then later working with the music the composer composed for that particular thinking. But of course, experience, I think I have to really mention this, because it may sound like I'm channelizing the session to appreciate these respected fellow artists, but I feel it made easier for me to express my thoughts on the particular subject by pointing out my experience with these artists. So if I begin with Bharati Anna, my memory goes back more than 17 years. Anna was the composer, and I happened to be the choreographer for another dancer. So, of course, I received the initial plan of the music and started working with the choreography with the dancer. But what I really admired, that spontaneous additions what Anna created in the recording studio, because I ended up choreographing for Avartanams, for first Pallavi and Anupallavi, because that's the kind of work she wanted. But of course, you need to have transitions and sancharis where you need to create music looking at the dancers move on the spot.
Yeah.
So that's something that how the composer understand the movement of the dancer with connecting with the. It's not about using one raga alapane to space out to Avartanam or anything, but it is, or be using BGM 2 times or 3 times to
Fill the gap.
fill the gap. But it was whether using a sthanam or something else, by looking at the dancer on the spot. So that creativity always something I really admired.
Yeah.
And of course, Sai Shravanam. I think we call each other brother, my good friend. But what an apt name for the kind of work he is doing, Sai Shravanam.
I call him Naina.
I know. You call me Kanna. Okay. I can say that my collaboration with Sai is more than a decade, Akka. I think with Sai's collaboration, we created 5 to 7 ensemble productions, including Pravaha and Don Quixote. Many number of repertoire margams or lots of compositions also. I don't just go to his studio sorry to say, put it in this way, I don't just go to his studio to get my WAV files out of his equipments.
Right.
So that was I do go to studios for my work to get it in my computer or whatever. But I go to him to experiment. I go to him to create music for my dance ensemble. It was I can say it was an experience. The very first time I had a conversation with him, and this is not to boost him, but this is my experience. This is something I really admired and learned a lot from Sai also. Even for my Don Quixote production, of course, Jyoti composed the music along with me. But in the title, I named Sai the most music director for Don Quixote, or the sound someone who did the sound production. Because when I say sound production, I can say that with Sai, it was not always working around with notations to create, but also to create music with sound. So that quality, I can easily say that I never experienced really any other artist. I don't want to literally call him sound engineer, because that is not. I don't know. I may be right or wrong, but
Yeah.
I can't stop at that point, because his inputs and collaborations always made a difference. Because it was a journey, like I go there with a skeleton, but I come out with a different form.
Yeah.
What I can create out of with the single skeleton, I go to him. But that doesn't happen in everywhere, but that is, I'm not pointing anybody, but this is a different experience. So, and
Thank you.
and I can't really think a production without Sai. Kind of, that's how always I
Not as
work.
an answer, but otherwise. Thank you, Shijit. I'll come back to you.
Sure.
We'll now go to this amazing character, Sai. Sai, it's a pleasure having you. So I'm going to come straight to the point and ask you,
Yes.
when you are recording with a group of musicians, perhaps composers, a work is being produced in your studio, is it the quality of the sound that you are listening to during the recording, or you're listening to the music, or both simultaneously? Is there a difference between them? I'm asking this on behalf of hundreds of dancers like myself. Uh, is there a difference between sound and music? Shijit actually touched upon that just now. And should a dancer be aware of this difference? And what is it that you feel that your job encompasses?
Okay. Namaskaram to everyone. Thank you, Leelaka, for bringing me in this very esteemed panel. Thank you, Alap and Akila, for having me. Akka, for me, the way I see is music is expressed through sound.
Yes.
That's the fundamental. So the fundamental is sound for me. So anything which is coherent in terms of pitch and rhythm becomes music. Anything that is not coherent, that is not aligned to pitch or rhythm, is what we don't call as music, but we call it noise. But fundamentally, for me, sound is all, whether it's music or whether it is noise, is for me sound. It's everything is sound. Silence has also become sound for me, because in productions, in recording studios, you will exactly know how important silence is for a production, how important silence is between notes. You don't get to experience this most often in live concerts, because with music for live, what happens is there is a visual interaction with the artists and their expression. Whether the music is communicated right or not, there is a certain visual interpretation that the audience gets from seeing musicians. But in recordings, what happens is it is the sound that has to penetrate you. And for good sound, you need good music. And for good music, you need good artists. And for good artists, you need very good instruments. All of this together only makes me worthy of all the praises that Shijit or Sir or you or anybody does. Because without all of this, without good artists, without good instruments, without good composition, without an intelligence in the production front, especially dance. See, doing musical productions are very easy. I tell people, being dance musicians and doing music for dance is very, very difficult in Indian style. This is what, if you really have to know what it is, please come to the studio and sit for a recording. You will know what a dancer undergoes to bring out the music for which he has to enact the story. So what people need to know in terms of what you wanted me to explain in terms of music, is it sound, or I'm not able to bifurcate it into two different things. Because for me, I truly see music as sound. For example, it's a Margam production. I have to do a music and a recording where on the stage, when a dancer listens to the music, they have to be inspired by it. Number two, as I said, they don't have visual interpretations by seeing an artist. There has to be feedback from the speaker's sound to impress them to give their best. The sound has to really go into them. Yes, it has to instigate something inside them, to bring out the best. So for me, the mridangam, for example, is the most primordial part the dancer needs to have. So when I mix live music, I don't have mridangam as loud. For recordings, the mridangam will be 20% more, because the dancer needs to constantly hear the tempo, for the mridangam to be up and running, during the recording I have to keep up the spirit of the artist to give in. During a live performance, what happens is an artist starts to play with energy. There are times where he sees what's happening on the stage or feedback from the audience. There is a little, super up movement, and there is a super down movement. There will be so many dynamics. The sound engineer keeps playing, he goes loud, he goes soft. There are so many aspects. With a recording, it is static. Once I record, it is a static medium. Just think there is a plate. All I have to do is fill up the music on the plate. I have to push the artist to give every note, whether it is a chapa, whether it is a meter, and sometimes the artist, what happens is, they are also experienced that they think whatever they play actually suits the thing. It may suit for a live, but I am here on the console sitting with the dancer, actually knowing what the dancer wants, what is it that they are doing, what is it that may எந்த ஸ்டெப்புக்கு என்ன வாசிக்கணும். That is a very, very important thing. So what I do is I sit as a catalyst, sometimes cushioning the dancer, cushioning the composer, because it's also not easy for an artist to be inside the recording room, to be playing something with all the ease when he sees no audience or dance. We try to get the best out of him when there is nothingness. And recording studio is a mirror. It just shows who you are, what your instrument is. If you are bad, you're bad. If your instrument is bad, it is bad. So you must be literally so well prepared to face yourself, the music, and the challenge of composers like Bharati sir or a Kanaku from Srijit Krishna or Leelaka actually giving an ad hoc idea to for the musician to come up. All the eyes are on the musician, so he or she has to bring the best. So to me, both the instrument, the artist has to be top notch. If it is recordings, I do not have a caliber or a tier 2 which I will personally accept in any productions, although I've been quite strict in ensuring the best artists come in. Yes, there are sometimes situations where we may not have the best artists, or probably they could not afford a best artist. I try to rope in as much as I can in getting their instruments good. My studio is literally equipped with all the instruments and their accessories and all the repair material or extra strings for tanpura, violin, veena, everything is there. There's a storeroom of everything. So I try to do the best. Why am I saying all this is, end of the day, that music has to sound good.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And the singer, for example, when they come into a studio, it is not a situation where they can see, for an artist there has to be an artistic freedom. A studio, you hear everything through a headphone, you hear yourself, so there are no reflections. The moment you sing, you hear it through your headphones. So you have to be so well trained, and you must have your own conscience. You should not be bothered so much about na correcta padrena illaya, am I singing right, you just have to deliver what is needed, and for that only experience matter.
Yes.
So, and with some of the best dancers and musicians, if you would have seen, you can go up to 99, but from 99 to 100 is another 100. That is where people like Leelaka or people like Srijit Krishna, RKB sir have crossed that 99 part. So once you cross that, you have that kind of an emptiness in you. You will be able to receive everything and just translate it back. So I have to do man management in keeping them comfortable. When something is not coming right, for example in Pallavi, I move to the Anupallavi, we record, and then I come back to Pallavi. People who record with me regularly know it. They'll just look at me and give me a smile. The reason is I have to keep the artist spirit up.
Yeah.
Keeping the artist spirit up, having good instruments, having fantastic artists who can translate well in the mic, and in turn, and more than all of this, we need people who are able to receive ideas with an empty mind. And once all of this is received, we are here. Technology is just an aid. I always tell people, you just can't, like, I cannot just be a sound engineer. It would be useless for me to just sit and keep recording. What is important is get the idea from the composer, get the idea from the artists, and then know the limitations of their playing, their limitations of their instrument, and then get the best out. So for me, music or sound, everything is the same. It's music and sound. Yes, Akka.
Sai, just to continue with that just for a second, I have seen that every accompanist for dance kacheri is not necessarily a good one for
Yes.
Recording.
Yes.
Yes.
right, or am I wrong?
You're absolutely
True.
right. True. 100% true.
So it doesn't translate
Yeah, I can just tell you very briefly why.
on stage, but
Yeah, I can tell you very briefly why. Because on stage, what happens, it's a spontaneous reaction what they do to the dancer, and they may be fantastic at it, and they may be very intelligent with kanaku and catching, perception.
yeah.
Live music needs perception. For example, I play tabla. I may be very good in playing for recordings, but if I go for a live kacheri, I'm horrible, because I need that perception. You need to catch it then and there, and head to hand relationship should be fantastic. And RKB sir always says A plus B equal to K, constant. If A is good, B will go off. So some of them who have super perception and samma kanaka and very intelligent may not have a good tone and execution from the instrument.
Right.
And for those who have fantastic tone and execution and that correct feel, sometimes end of the day feel matters. Whatever you compose, end of the day it has to touch your heart. Some people just have that magic, but they may not have that kind of a mind for Kanaka and other things. Studio is a super place for them. So what we do is we give them the time, we prepare, we get the best out, because end of the day, when the dancer or a choreographer or a composer takes back a material, it stays much longer than they physically stay. We may leave the world, but the music stays.
Yeah.
So I have a huge responsibility to ensure not a single note should be wrong. So there is a difference between these artists, and yes, being recording artists, you may have to have a sensitivity level which is exceptionally good.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, Akka.
RKB sir, to ask you that if somebody comes with some sahitya, that you are a literary man as well. You have studied good texts and you have a wonderful ear for sahitya. அந்த சாகித்யம் உங்களுக்கு பிடிக்கலன்னா, means you're not really convinced with the sahitya, does it impact to the quality of your music?
Yeah, of course. There's no doubt. I'll tell them. நன்னாலே இந்த பாட்டு ரொம்ப சுமாரா இருக்கேன்னு சொல்லிவிடுவேன். யாரும் சொல்லிவிடுவேன், இந்த பாட்டு ரொம்ப சாதாரணமா இருக்கேம்மா, என்ன விஷயம், உனக்கு என்ன வேணும், what do you want? This is not being conveyed in a proper way.
Right.
There are better ways to convey this. Would you mind? அப்படின்னு கேட்டுடுவேன்.
And it has happened, right? With you?
Yes. On occasions, yes.
So the other thing is that just as I was talking about, sound is made up of pitch and dynamics and timbre and all these kind of things. One of the things where we seem to be, I feel, just personally, I feel we've run into a kind of regularity of Kala Pramanam. If you look at the entire show, there's no Valinam Millenum. Sometimes every item in a Margam has become almost the same. Even take a little, the seems to have become this fast medium pace, which is kind of just persists right through the kacheri. How do we address Parayakalatle? If you listen to a Varnam, it was definitely in Chauka Kalam, and therefore the Tilana by contrast was beautiful. But now it's all Kirtanam type Kala Praman. I'd put it to any of you and all of you, Shijit. What do you think about this thing of Kala Praman?
Yeah, what you say is a very, very valid point. That's why even in production, when there are either a song coming after another, one more song coming after another,
yes,
there should be a change in color and texture, and therefore we take care. For instance, if it is from the selection, as far as the selection of the raga goes, we select a contrasting raga, so that the one which you hear just 5 minutes before and after, there should be a change in the sound quality, in the song quality.
Yes.
Likewise, suppose if they both sound sometimes it happens that they are the same tempo.
Same tempo, yeah.
It also happens because the situation may be like this, the lyrics may be like that. Then I try to change the composition style so that it sounds different. Or மேல்கால பிரயோகமா பண்றது, or introduce நடை in that, so that there is a change. And dynamics is always taken care. Productionல ஒரு சௌரியம் இருக்கு என்னமா, because there is so much of drama is there. Drama is possible in the lyrics or in the music. Only thing is we have to make the musicians aware of that. அது ஒரு பாயிண்ட் இருக்கு. ஏன்னா தெரியாது அவளுக்கு வந்து they try to maybe only musical மாத்திரம் பார்த்துட்டு விட்டுடுவா. But it's not that. அந்த வழி வரல் அது வந்து வழி கடந்து இட்ஸ் காற்று. Okay. When Vaiga is coming like that, it has to come like that. வழி வரல் அது போயிடும் அது. So we have to tell them why it is so. What is the reason behind that composition taking that shape? So we also have to teach them poetry. You know, poetry is very vital, yeah.
Very important.
Unless you understand the poetry, you won't be able to give life to the words. And if there is no life to the words, there is no life to the music. Therefore, we have to teach them what the meaning is, why it is so, why I need to cry, why I need to shout, why I need to laugh. And all those things have to be expressed through music. Isn't it?
Yeah.
And the dynamics, we take care. We try to take care to the maximum. அப்படி நான் மிஸ் பண்ணா கூட சாய் சொல்லுவேன், இந்த இடத்துல வந்து சார் ஒரு டெம்போ ஒரே மாதிரி இருக்கே, ஓகே we will revisit into some changes so that it is not monotonous. There has to be some variations. All those things.
அதே மாதிரி sir, in the same vein, one of the other problems that we definitely have is when a musician writes down the order of ragas, they perceive it as a raga. But the naika and the mood of that particular piece is very different from the other. One is bhakti bhavam, one is viroda.
Yes. ஆமா.
அப்ப அந்த லாப்பனை வந்து அதுக்காக வாசிக்கணும், அந்த மூடுக்காக தானே வாசிக்கணும்.
அதுதான்மா.
சும்மா ஒரு சங்கரவர்ணம் வாசிச்சா அப்படின்னு
நான் ரொம்ப சந்தோஷமா இருக்கேன். சங்கராவரணத்துல பாடுறது தப்பு கிடையாது. திடீர்னு ஏதோ ஒண்ணு கீழ் விழுந்துருது, ஏதோ யாருக்கு அடிபட்டு இருந்தா அதே சங்கராவரணத்தை பண்ணா நன்னா இருக்காது. அது வந்து அந்த காலத்துல வந்து initially music was the primary thing in those days, not to belittle anybody. இப்போ வந்து திருடன் வருவான், பாடுவான். அந்த காலத்துல பாட்டு தான் நிறைய இருக்கும் நாடகத்துல வந்து. எட்டடுக்கு மாளிகன் அந்த மாதிரி ராத்திரி திருடன் கத்தி பாடினா எல்லாம் வீழ்ச்சுடுறான். சரி, அந்த காலத்துல வந்து ஃபர்ஸ்ட் அதை யோசிக்க மாட்டான். பட் சப்சிக்வென்ட்லி when you do the job, you have to take all those things into consideration.
Right.
அதே மாதிரி ராகம் மாத்திரம் முக்கியம் இல்ல, what the situation conveys.
Right.
அதுக்கு தான் music and dance have to go together. Music, lyrics, dance all have to travel together. அதனால அந்த எங்க சாஃப்டா தான் பாடணும். அந்த இடத்துல வந்து கம்மக்கத்தோட பாட முடியாது, பாட முடியாது. அது வேற பாடுற இடம் ஒண்ணு வரும், அப்ப அந்த சான்ஸ் கொடுப்பேன். அப்ப அந்த மாதிரி பாடிக்கணும். இந்த மாதிரி சமயத்துல வார்த்தை புரியணும். There should be clarity in enunciation.
Right.
I should be able to get the feel of the word. The raga will enhance the feel. See, the raga and the mood go together actually.
Right.
Yeah.
Sudha, does living in the north of India and yet producing or thinking a southern form of music impact your choice of ragas, your intonation, or even the authenticity of your music?
I must thank my gurus, my grandfather for that. Tata வந்து ரொம்ப ஆர்த்தோடாக்ஸ் in terms of Carnatic music, core classical. முதல்ல அதை கத்துக்கொள்ளுங்க, அதுக்கப்புறம் தான் அதுக்கப்புறம் என்ன பண்ணாலும் அப்புறம் பண்ணுங்க அப்படிம்பா. So I think I have kept it very clear that நல்ல தமிழ் lyrics, proper traditional numbers, ஏதான் இந்த மாதிரி concept which involves classical, Carnatic ragas, I keep it very clear. And when I work on lyrics of Surdas or Tulsidas, I do get inspired by Hindustani ragas because I'm exposed to a lot of good Hindustani music being in Delhi. So I do learn. I want to learn every now and then some new raga so that I can experiment only if it suits, and if it suits the meaning or the underlying Sanchari Bhavas and everything. Only then I choose those ragas. But yes, I do. I think as a singer, as a composer, I feel I should go beyond the Carnatic genres if I'm going to be doing music for productions on Meera or I have done some, other poets. I've done some works on Sufi as well. So I think it is very important to learn and be exposed to good music, be it whatever. So it does not influence I just complement it with the lyrics, suitable lyrics.
I
It
know.
does not interfere with my the Carnatic numbers in any way. ஒரு தமிழ் பதம் நல்ல பதம் வந்திருக்கு, இல்ல ஒரு தெலுங்குல எழுதி இப்ப கூட ஒரு ரமாஜிக்கு ஒரு கம்போஸ் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கேன். அது வந்து பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கிறத நம்ம வந்து ஒரு வேற ஏதாவது இந்துஸ்தானி ராகம் வந்து அதுக்கு சூட் பண்ணாது நேச்சுரலி, பிகாஸ் வி கோ டு செவரல் இயர்ஸ் பேக். ஸோ அதுக்கு ஒரு தர்மவத்தியோ தான் ஒரு நல்ல ஒரு கோர் கிளாசிக்கல் ராகம் தான் நல்லா இருக்கும். அதே மாதிரி சூர்தார் லிரிக்ஸ் கொடுக்கறத நம்ம நல்லா தோடி அது ஜாரிங். Not that Todi is any less or Surdas is any less. It's just that the feel of the song does not come out so beautifully. So I think we should keep things very clearly.
This is addressed both to Shijit and to Sai. The very important element of jatis and cholle. R.K. Bisa's, so beautifully he is brought out in this Nadi Niti. I had said to Sir, I want the Sahityam and Swaras and Jati to sort of mesh and get enmeshed. அது அவர் ரொம்ப அழகா பண்ணி கொடுத்துட்டாங்க. But I'm just asking you, Shishit, do you create music for other dancers? I know you have, for your many students all across the world. But does the quality of their dance or their understanding of the dance or of the capacity for nritta, does it affect the kind of jati patterns that you would create for them? Because you're on your own journey. I mean, you're at different stages of your journey. Do you give them what you're working on at that time, or would you look at them and then decide?
No, I don't really create music for others. Of course, I do create.
Why are you?
I mean, others in the sense, mostly for my own students, and somebody who is related with kind of work I do. So they don't approach me looking at me as a composer, but they come to me because they are my students. They are also students sometimes. Like now the generations are also so for an example, Karuna Sagari, dancer Karuna Sagari, she creates her own beautiful works, and she approaches me, and I do compose music for her. But of course, when I say along with my wife Jyoti, but when the term come to Konnakol or Chollikattu or Jyoti is creating, that is my own work, because I'm very passionate towards it. Being a mridangist, also maybe I have that capacity to think beyond. I can say that I really enjoy doing that, because even for future, I would like to create a production using only Konnakol and percussions, and
Yeah, I was
create
just
music
going
out
to
of.
I was just going
And
to ask you that.
I mean, literally, even if I take Shakespeare novel or any theme, and based on our epic or Puranic, I always used to feel I don't need lyrics to create a language, because I consider this Konnakol or Chollikattu can create a language where we can communicate.
Absolutely.
And in fact, I'm more comfortable in that, like rather even in speaking, you know that I'm not very comfortable, but I'm comfortable to get up and say a jati or something else.
But Shijit, we know that the Tamil Cholle has entered into the Bharatanatyam domain, and people are using those Vartegal instead of some of the traditional, uh, uh, you know, Cholle for Jatis. Uh, are you also inclined towards that kind of? I mean, do you feel it's okay?
I think so, Akka, because I feel, you know, when we describe the term Konnakol, I think it is simply a system of reciting percussion syllables.
No, Kondakol is different.
No, even, you know, jatis came. I think jatis, the idea of creating jatis came from that tradition, because you end up reciting the sounds of the instrument. In fact, if you go back to the primitive man's instrument, you can really, I can say that tawil maybe, or the ganjira may be the first instrument, or later comes with mridangam and tabla, because the reason, the way we got civilized all the areas, all different, not just in art. So you just grab the skin, you kill an animal, you grab the skin, and then you tie it and you create an instrument. And the sound, what you recite, hearing the sound of that particular instrument becomes your konnakol and later a jati. So it is a journey. I mean, din or nam, may be a recent addition, because aap நம்ம இங்க மிருதங்கத்துக்கு சாதம் போடுறோம் சொல்றோம் இல்லையா, சாதம் போடுறோம், சோறு போடுறோம், the black, that was not there initially. In that case, I can say tawil is something more oldest compared to mridangam or a ganjira, because it's just a skin. It's a very raw material. You just, as I said earlier, kill or dead animal, you just grab it and then create. So I think it is, the cholle also got civilized. And if you recite a jati like tattare kirra kita taka taka tati kita tumta, that kirra tradition is not there in our typical Bharatanatyam. Like, immediately it sounds different, but why not? That question is always there because it came from there, because I'm just looking at it as a percussion.
You're
But what is apt, what is appropriate is also something very important. But sometimes thinking what is appropriate becomes a conditioned decision.
Yeah.
Becomes a very conditioned decision.
Sai, would you say that the tabla bowl also has changed over
Uh,
100 years?
from Yes, it has changed, but I am not as knowledgeable as Shijit to comment on this. But there is a difference between a Dhrupad Pakvaj bowl to tabla, and they are all very similar to the sound that comes. For example, dhin is with the baya, tin is just with the right. So the expression, the jati expression, is exactly a translation of the sound that we bring out as bowls, you know. Yeah.
So do you feel that RKP sir, if you can tell us something about jatis, this whole thing of, if you remember that we discussed அந்த பின்னால போயிட்டு நாங்க வந்து தலாம் குத்தகதிக்கு, அது அவசியமா? Ready, get, set, go அப்படின்னு. So in our Nadi Niti, we eliminated the get, set.
Yes.
I think it is quite good to make some new innovations that are fitting, as it says, that are deemed appropriate. That's all. You know, that's a process of evolution.
Yes.
We have to bring in something new. We have to bring in some new sounds, new solfas. That is nothing wrong. Of course, one section of some of the elders may not like it. They may condemn you, they may criticize. But over a period of time, it gets accepted.
And then it becomes tradition.
Yes.
Actually, I can add in a couple of points here.
Yes.
Jati, for example, if you see RKB sir, I can quote RKB sir and Shijit Krishna, having worked with them. There was this one production where ஒரு திருடம் வரான், and there was no story. Instrumentum பெருசா அந்த ப்ரொடக்ஷனில் we didn't have much budget to have instruments or compose. It was ad hoc. ஒரு திருடம் வரான், எப்படியோ மரம் பின்னாடி ஒழிஞ்சுன்னு இருக்கான், you know, and he does his act of going and grabbing something from someone. So இப்படி பக்கத்தில் உட்காந்தாரு, என்ன பண்ணலாம் அப்படின்னாரு. தெரில சார் அப்படின்னு. he said. Then இப்படி கொஞ்ச நாள் யோசிச்சுட்டு said okay, I'll tell one jati அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு he didn't tell. What he did, நீங்கள் எனக்கு கதை சொல்லுங்கன்னாரு. And then he made the dancer, நீங்கள் இப்போ அந்த திருடனா எப்படி நீங்கள் ஆக்ட் பண்ணுவீங்க அப்படின்னாரு. I gave a track mic to him. So she was just trying to enact இப்படி அந்த மரத்து பின்னாடி இருந்து ஒழிஞ்சு பார்த்து அப்புறம் அவ வரான்னு. It was not swaras. He just started randomly, scatting syllables, as I would call it.
Yeah.
Random syllables. Like our kuniyarche, he would use something like dim, something like that. And romba secretiva, he will say tata, tata, ta, those things. So jatis can be used even as an expression. நம்ம ரொம்ப ஜத்தியை வந்து ரொம்ப காம்ப்ளிகேட் ஆக்கிட்டோம். Those syllables, as Srijit mentioned, it's so primitive. And if you take Don Quixote, for example, there was a very wonderful production. I wish it is done, at least screened to people. See, there is this one folk element or Spanish dance. அதில் வந்து they do ஒரு பக்கெட்டில் ஒரு மேஜிக் ஷோ happens. அதுக்கு என்ன லிரிக்ஸ் போடுவீங்க, எத்தனை நாழி வயலின் வாசிக்க முடியும், எத்தனை நாழி ஃப்ளூட் வாசிக்க முடியும். See, sometimes jati is a great way to break the monotony of pitch. That's the way I see. It is so nice because after a long கொஞ்ச நாள் தம்புரா ஃப்ளூட் வாய்ஸ் எல்லாம் கேட்ட அப்புறம் கொஞ்சம் சைலண்டாக இருந்துட்டு when you just have clean good jati, and then when the pallavi comes, it's like wow, then you value the pallavis. It's actually like when you don't have something, that's when you start to value it, right? So jati is such a big part of giving that contrast. So in Don Quixote he had done that. And there is this another scene where Trojan horse, there is a scene. So what happens is I think the tail goes on fire, or I don't know the story because I just think of the sound. I don't follow that.
Right.
But there is this one thing where it's all expressions of so many characters on jati. And you know how he did it? Random jatis by different people. So it's one person telling one jati, another person telling another jati, another person telling another jati, and my job was to change the pitch. You can also say tam tatakajunu tam tatakajunu. The other person can say tam tatakajunu tam tatakajunu. So it's everyone's bhava. It's all the same thing. Bringing it all together, creating a cacophony, yet to have it in rhythm. Somebody, a master like Srijit, can only do it. So he had completely choreographed the scene just using jatis. So there are multiple ways jatis are used. Number traditional ninga question ketel, and sir was talking about evolution. It has gone to such a level where today I have even seen rappers using jati and rapping.
Of course.
It has started to influence the West.
Yeah.
So it's incredible to just think of jatis and bols. Yeah.
Absolutely. Sai, I want to ask you, and I want to ask RKB sir something that bothers me a little bit.
Yes.
Sir is laughing already. So the use of the synthesizer as a hummingbird in empty places. How do you? I want to know in terms of sound. How does Sai deal with it, and
Okay.
how do you feel it enhances or takes away from?
இல்லம்மா இது வந்து பேசிக்கா
The virtue, no?
I keep an open mind basically. ஒரு ஓப்பன் மைண்ட் என்னன்னா ஐ சீன் மெனி சீனியர் டான்சர்ஸ் நிறைய பேர் வந்து சில பேருக்கு வந்து நீ எலக்ட்ரானிக் இன்ஸ்ட்ருமெண்ட்டே வேண்டாம்பா அப்படின்னு சொல்லிடுவான், முதல்ல சொல்லிடுவான். தனஞ்சயன் சார் இதை பண்ணா ஏதாவது கீபோர்ட்ல ஏதாவது யூஸ் பண்ணிக்கோயேன் அப்படி சொல்லுவார். ஸோ ஒருத்தர் ஒரு மாதிரி சொல்லுவான். ஸோ வாட் வி கேன் டூ இஸ் இப்போ இன் கீப்பிங் வித் தி பிரசன்ட் டே மியூசிக் ஆல்சோ கொஞ்சம் என்ன we have to take so many things into consideration. If any sound will enhance the quality of the music without disturbing it, without diluting it, adi irukama there we have so many choices. If you choose the right one, right tone with the right velocity, right amplitude, right volume, right dynamics, then it adds to the
Right.
beauty. Sure.
I would like to add one thing here, Akka.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Akka. You want to say something?
I was just going to ask, can it replace the tanpura, which is what many
Okay.
people
So
think?
this is exactly what I wanted to tell.
Ah,
Yes. So what has happened is, in the last 15 years, there has been incredible improvement in the way synthesizers are used. The word synthesizer, what you're mentioning, is no more existent.
ah,
It's not very, very popular. We use samplers.
Hmm.
So synthesizers were electronic, boards that were synthesizing the sound of a piano. So they were really harsh, they were horrible, and it was good for Western music, pop, hip hop, and it would not suit Indian music no matter what. In film industry, yes, it was used. But nowadays, what has happened is we have what is called samplers. We actually capture the real sound of something, and when you press a key, the sound of it comes, the
right,
sound of the original. For example, in so many productions, in our own productions, we use temple bell. ஸ்ருதியோட பெல் அடிக்கணும், ஆனால் ஸ்ருதியோட பெல்லு கிடைக்காது. எப்படி எடுப்போம்? சிந்தசைசர் வச்சு தான் பண்ணணும். ஆனால் ஐ கேப்சர். ஸோ வாட் வி ஹவ் டு டூ இஸ், திஸ் இஸ் வேர் ஐ திங்க் people like me have to play a very important role in distinguishing authenticity with something that may not suit a genre.
right.
Yes.
So what I do is I capture the sound of the temple bell, then tune it on the keyboard, and then map it to all the keys. And when people like you or RKB sir, Shijit come, endla granda Ganga Aarti Venunana, there are so many bells clanging to the Raga Shruti without any alien note, is possible only with a synthesizer, meaning a keyboard. And Shang, for example, I still have a Shang sample that Shijit's daughter had blown, which I think is there in all the dance productions. It's tuned to pitch. It was done casuala vascha.
Wow.
But we can control the length. Yeah, we can control the length. Abdi stop பண்ணிடலாம். Or we can do ta. We can do all those. We can take the technology and keyboard to
Right.
fill in those things we could not do before. But as I said with a disclaimer, it has to be used intelligently. Like for example, in classical music, we can use vibraphone if it sounds authentic and if people know to play it well.
Right.
So Rahman once said, A.R. Rahman, it's not what you play, it's how you play.
Right.
So that matters a lot, you know.
The great God has spoken.
Yes.
Akhila, do you want to let this open for questions from the public, or?
Ilaka, you could ask. I've already posted. We haven't got any questions yet, but you can ask a question and then I will.
Okay.
Can I add something?
Please.
No, this is again because we were talking about sound and creating one important experience I always definitely wanted to share today. That is the experience with Sai, especially, of course.
Yeah.
For one of my production, Pravaha, the very the very first scene is the titled as The Big Bang. So it's I was there. I think I remember only myself and Sai in the studio. Of course, I composed the entire sequence because it's a rhythmical pattern for the Big Bang scene, to also to talk about the solar system, etc. I think we took 2 full days to complete the 5 minutes long sequence. Not because we were stuck with imaginations or lack of ideas, but we wanted to create an experience with sound.
Right.
You know, Sai used to get up like in between. He used to get up and come to my recording booth from his console booth. I will be sitting around my toys. I mean, in a respected way, I sit with mridangam, all the percussion instruments around me. And he literally used to lift and try out each and every tone because he wanted to match with low and the mid and the highs, you know, like the different frequencies, how you can play around. In fact, he made me play with my, you know, the kallu pullu we say to the tune, to the mridangam, and the kallu pullu tatit. And after a point, we were stuck. Like he said, no, I think we need something else. See, he was thinking, I was thinking, but like quietly, I was without my knowledge, I was um, on the wall, he's on studio. Suddenly he said, "Brother, what did you do?" He didn't saw me doing that, but he said, I was just thinking about the pattern and then I was playing on the wall. I think I need, that's what I want. That is the kind of sound I need. In
Right.
fact, we recorded that also.
It was actually played on this one here back.
Yeah, okay.
So I
He was-
literally,
Yeah, he was sitting there and he was very close to that wall and he was tapping this wooden thing that you're seeing here.
Wonderful.
As he was tapping, what was happening was my microphone was taking those vibrations. So there was this very deep dum, dum, dum sound. We could not get it with Mridangam and Ganjira and Ghatam. I was like, it's just organic. It's also an instrument.
Right.
That's also an instrument. Just tap it. And actually that program starts with the sound of the
correct.
wall here in my studio, which was an accident but became a blessing.
That's true.
Wonderful stories.
Tilaka, there is one question
Yes.
from Harshini, and she wants to know, how does one compose a Jati Chol based on raga or lyrics of a song, or is it just composed based only on Kala Pramanam of the song?
RKB sir, would you like to take that?
Can you read the question again? if you
Yes.
don't mind?
How to compose Jati Chol based on raga or the lyrics of song, or is it just composed based only on the Kala Pramanam of the song?
It's based on all the elements, all the parameters are involved. See, based on the situation, see, a jati, for what we are doing the jati, which character is going to do the jati. So
Yeah.
what are the sounds needed to be used in such a case? That also is very important. And then the Kala Pramanam, sometimes the song Kala Pramanam may be different from the jati Kala Pramanam. If it warrants a change in tempo, or it may warrant a change, a gradual increase in tempo or a gradual reduction in tempo, and then Sahil will draw a graph, upgoing graph or a downgoing graph. Therefore, all these are taken into consideration before doing a jati. It is not mere making them using usual first, not like that. All these things are taken into consideration.
I think Akhila,
Right.
sir is very specifically speaking about today's time.
Right.
While I think she is caught in the traditional
Oh, previous.
Jati
Okay.
for a Varnam kind of, or for
Okay.
a Param or for a Kirtanam.
Hmm.
Those Jatis seem to have an independence, they were independent of an item. Here we are talking about ensemble work,
Yes.
where a storyline or a mood is
May,
created.
I also feel, even it's in a Varnam, the jati, if it goes with the mood of the lyrics,
Correct.
it'll be very nice,
Yeah.
isn't it? Whatever the Sanchari is going to be about, the
Absolutely.
preceding Sanchari or the following Sanchari, it has to go with the lyrics, is what I feel.
Yeah.
Necessarily very mathematical also, as Anna says.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Necessarily
exactly.
very mathematical. Beautiful. Araga convey panna mudija, that is the best.
Yeah.
Tilaka, there's one more question. And someone wants to know, basically, if you listen to a piece of music after many years, a piece of music that you have composed, do you feel like revisiting it?
Yeah, that always happens. See, you do a song, when you listen to it again, you always feel you could have made this, you could have improved this, you could have removed this, you could have improved on this. All those parameters are always there, I think. The constant revisiting, the intention to revisit is always there, even if you listen to it after 25 years.
Right.
Right.
And that happens with dance also. I mean,
Yeah, I was going to ask you, Tilaka. Yeah.
but I have a little, I sometimes feel that that dance or music compositions reflect a particular period.
Right.
Even as we speak, we have all grown older in this field. And what was in the 60s wasn't in the 70s, and then it just kept every decade. There was a different thing happening. So sometimes it's very important to retain a certain thing whether it's a music composition or a dance composition, because it typifies a particular period. And
Correct.
it's a very important historical thing. I mean, if you just keep tweaking everything that you did from the 60s, keep changing it to bring it up to date to 2000, you won't have much variation in. Sometimes when I do an old item, I just feel so good because it's just so different from what you now do. So it has a certain authenticity of time and place.
We remembered you and did the recording recently, especially the Navaraga Malika Varna.
Yeah.
We went 25 years back and still we kept retained every bit of what you did. It was so beautiful.
Yeah, it's also I think that sir, one of the things is that if a great composer like yourself or anybody else composes a piece of music, and I know of an incident where a very great composer of our time composed music which was later taken to another musician and asked to alter it slightly. So these are very serious, serious movements. They're not,
Yeah.
not things that should happen. If Rukmini Devi composed a Natabhairavi Tilana in day so and so, I feel if I'm so unhappy with that Tilana, I should recompose it or choose another Tilana. I should recompose the same Tilana, but to tweak hers is not a very nice thing.
Yes.
Because
Because it's a very sensitive issue. Yeah.
what Rukmini Devi did in 1960 should be should be seen in that
Perspective.
image. Yes, and it's
You're right.
you're paying obeisance to that person, because to the memory of that person, because then it is what she touched, her hands
Exactly.
on it. Adu vera, na
Mom.
panna vera.
Sure.
So that I think is a very iffy. A lot of young people say, "Adu konjam maatlama, idu pudi pannama." No, I don't. Do something else. Do a new thing. Why do you want to do that and tweak that? So, what do you feel, Srijit?
Of course, especially, I mean, today something happened watching Nandichol danced by Atul. And it's, of course, when I work with the composition of Muthuswami Dikshidhar or Tyagaraja or anybody, it is for all of us. Every day you can change. What you create, dance on top on that, because it is for all. But sometimes when we create something for our own, effort and like people, sometimes you don't really respect the kind of process. Immediately you end up changing it or end up putting your own input in imaginations into it. But don't, like you said, let's watch that. Let's stand on that Rukmini Devi's Natabhairavi on, or any composition in that matter. And there are lots of things you can learn out of from the particular composition. But why do you have to immediately change? That's a perception. Like, you don't have to really change. That is the way you can respect your other fellow artists also. That is something very important.
I think compositional authenticity and must be maintained, and I really feel young people should pay that a little more attention, because the temptation now is to say, I like this thing, but I'm going to slightly malakira. That's not
what I just mentioned about Atul in a positive sense. Why I said that, when you mention a composer or a choreographer, you say that, okay, it's choreographed by Leela Sampson and I dance it. Then try to dance the way a particular choreographer choreographed it. It's none of your business to change it.
The only problem is, Srijit, when we are young, so it's possible. When you are young and you're not composing or creating, then you want to change things and do all this. The minute you become a teacher and you start composing something, then you say, "Inna maathina na appadithane solli koduthen." So, we stand on different grounds and change we are very human like that. But this is a serious thing, and I think young dancers and musicians must pay some homage to those who have done some work and gone.
அக்கா உங்களுக்கு
The-
பாடுற
the developing the idea is different from what we structured. I mean, you can, it's a structure, but you have the freedom to develop it. That is your capacity, you know, like capacity to develop from where you are. So
Absolutely.
that is there in Raga Lapana. It's like Kalyani is not restricted to one particular person. Like you can travel in different directions with Kalyani. But
Correct.
same way, of course, we need to give freedom to our students or our fellow artists. That is very important. But certain things are meant to be saved with certain thinking process.
Especially when something is good. Nandi Chollu is a very good item. White chicken. That you were saying.
Yeah, as a musician, especially for me, it is very hard to watch young dancers imitating or rather tweaking some of the numbers which Akka did, because I'm singing for both. Like 2 decades minadi paadinada அப்படியே மனசுல பதிஞ்சிருக்கு அந்த choreographies and the nuanced choreographies, nuanced music, beautiful music by Pandit Madhubji's. நிறைய பேர் அதை மாத்தி பண்றாங்க. It bothers me a lot because I can see a lot of changes. I have retained the same way my grandfather taught, whatever kritis he taught me. இந்த 3 சங்கதி வழியா step by step பாடினா போறோம் பார், அது மேல அப்புறமா பாத்துக்கலாம், முதல்ல இது ஒழுங்கா பாடுங்க. So you know, when we revisit these same numbers, I still feel they are more beautiful, honestly.
Nilaka, there are a couple of questions.
Yes.
So how to organically make the younger generation musicians and dancers mutually understand and appreciate the intricacies and feel dance and music are not different but one in a sense?
Just live your life
I
with
think
as much assay as and passion as Shijit or Sudha, where you love something so much that along the journey you will appreciate the music. You have to make an effort.
yeah, I
Music
think
and dance.
developing that sensitivity should become an effort. I think that is
So
very
true.
important. It is
Very
not always what you create. It is also like Sai said, sometimes between the sound, how you experience silence is also very beautiful. But you need to have an ear for that. I mean,
But Sai should also have an incarnation. You should come to Delhi also.
like when you said about when you mentioned about Kala Pramanamaka, I thought it is very, very personal, Choi. Like, you know, sometimes we don't we go very stagnant while listening. Like we need to train ourselves to listen. That is very important to understand whether are you still in one particular Kala Pramanam for so long. But sometimes we don't realize it. We just continue composing, continue creating, continue reciting. But you need to develop that sensitivity. I think listening is very important.
We need satsangam in this also, isn't it? Satsangam in this. Satsangam
Correct.
And one thing that I have noticed as a technician sitting in a chair is there are always seamless productions when the dancer is able to sing. Like Leelaka always sings. You know, all the good dancers, take all the composers, take RKB sir. He will literally dance. He's not a dancer, but when he just knows what has to come. So wherever there is division, there is problem. So music and dance ne eppo pirichu paakromo, then the art form just becomes mechanical. So if you can absorb the music, you don't need to sing well. Like I can't sing, but I really know what it feels to, you know, sing. So I have seen Akka singing, you know, supera padua, you know, she sings so well. So the dancer has to have the music in them, has to have the rhythm in them. You cannot divide music and dance. There is nothing called awareness. It has to be, how can you teach someone this? It has to come from within.
I think Sai is absolutely right. In some ways, you have to sing the dance and dance the music.
Exactly. Just like the topic of today.
Yeah.
Is just,
you have to hear the dance and see the music, Mari.
Yes. The topic itself is the answer. Yeah.
There's one more question. Is it appropriate to use multiple languages for lyrics that we use for dance dramas, or is it ideal to stick with just one language?
You know, sorry, if I may say so,
Please.
we are not here to advise people on what to do and what language to take. And really, this is a very personal thing. But as an Indian, and as somebody who was born in mid India and then moved to, or I have an experience of both North and South. I feel languages are India has the opportunity to make language a unifying agency, especially in our time. We are living all across, we're moving north and south and east and west. If we can speak another language and feel free to adopt it, then, I mean, if a Rabindranath Tagore poem can be learnt in Kerala and something by a Malayali poet be, recited by children in Manipur, this in its original language, this would be this is the unification of India. So using different languages is really, I feel it's not, we don't have to be so holier than thou and say this is the only the language of Bharatanatyam. Our forms can respond to it. I don't see why a Kathak dancer should not do a Javali. The main thing would be for them to get it sung properly. That's where the problem is. Not that they can't do it. So dancers like Shashwati have attempted them. The problem is that when they're traveling with a set of North Indian musicians, they find it very difficult to have it sung. And the intonation of the words is wrong. So then, of course, you should not do it, because it's better not to do it if that is the case. But otherwise, language is a barrier.
Nadi is a great example of multilingual production.
And what a joy.
Yeah. And we use different singers to bring the correct diction. And
Exactly.
Leelaka ensured that a Bengali person comes to teach a Tamil singer, Kirtana, how to recite. So there is a responsibility when we use language. And I experienced that in Nadi.
Really. And it was such a joy, because
Yes.
Absolutely.
it opens a whole new world. And RKP sir used such a beautiful blending of the North and South. These are things to be loved and appreciated. As Srijit says, you have to make an effort to become sensitive to these.
So true.
Leelaka, can we do one more question?
Sure. We'll let that.
While composing music for dance productions, musical forms like Shabdam, Padam, Jatiswaram are not much used. At the most, only Pushpanjali or Tilana seems to have a place in a production. How can these be incorporated in a production?
I can take this question.
Yes, please. You're the right person.
So it is not true, by the way. We've been using a lot of solfa and lyrics incorporated to compose Kauthuvam, Shabdam. There was a recent production of Neha Mandal's called Draupadi, where she had chosen some beautiful Sanskrit lyrics, which were translated actually. It was in Bengali earlier. And then she wanted something like a Pravesha Dharu. So I had composed that in the form of a Shabdam. And once there was a production called Shabda Brahman by Kanaka Srinivasanji, in which the 14 first primordial sounds which came out of the Damaru, me and Karekude Shivakumarji, we both sat together to do it as a Kavutuvam. And there are several Kautums and Shabdams which are being composed these days also. I completely fail to agree.
No, and a Jatiswaram, I mean, it's used ad nauseum by everybody. Swara pattern is basically, it doesn't have to be in the, and are we talking about a new Margam, or are we talking about dance drama in which all these elements of the Margam should come or not? These are, I think, without restricting yourself to any, format.
So true. So Jatiswaram does not have to be danced as a Jatiswaram. It could be expressed, it could be enacted, it could be telling a story. So I don't think, I think I have answered.
Thank you, Sudhaji. I know this session is titled The Dance of Music, but I thought this last question is really about the music of dance. So this question is, someone wants to know, how can we encourage more dance appreciation amongst musicians?
Wow.
Learn dance.
Well, I can tell you one thing, that when I was director Kalakshetra, uh, we, the first year for students is a probationary year. And we found that many students had applied for dance and some had applied for music. And when the first year exams came, some of the staff, including Sita Ma, who was teaching music, said that there were different things happening. One was that you found a dancer who actually had more aptitude for music than for dance, and you had some music students who actually were more interested in dance. They just applied, sort of blindly. So they said, Matilama, suggestion kudtulama, that was one thing. The other thing was that which I found as a very interesting observation, the music teachers found that the dance students were able to keep the basic Kala Pramanam of Onnam Kalam, Rendam Kalam, Moonam Kalam very correctly in their talam, while the music students could not. And so they asked me what we can do, and I said, let's put them through 1 year of dance where they learn Tattadavu. When you feel it in your body,
Wow.
Kala Pramanam, then holding it, I'm not saying that that is a must, but I mean, the experiment was a valid one, and we did it, and the music teachers are the ones who actually pointed that out to me. And it's a very interesting thing. So learning a dance form, if you're a musician, or learning,
Yes.
most musicians are dancing on stage, so but why are they insensitive to dance? That's a question I also have asked for a long time. Perhaps they're not good enough. Seriously, I have to say that it's not just about musicians responding to dance, but I'll at the risk of being a little controversial, I'll say that the audiences for dance are not as much as the audiences for music. We know that very well. And although, let us say, Rajkumar sir composes music for dance, I think he attends more music kacheris in a season than he does of dance. Now, this is
No.
no. Sir, I'm using because I can't say it about anybody else. So, but I have to say that even I do that. I'm drawn towards the music kacheri. Now, this is an admission that is not. So what is it? Is it that we are failing as dancers in some area? I think this is a discussion for dancers. It's not discussion of this session, but dancers have to, I think we have to look inwards a little bit and understand why. Maybe-
Both have to learn to complement each other, I think.
Totally agree.
Why are they less? Sometimes there's Krishna Gana Sabha, there's a dance kacheri with only 10 people in the audience.
I will show you many concerts where only 15 people are sitting in the audience. Don't worry. There are many concerts also.
But comparatively,
Our people have the same attitude, don't we?
we have to accept this cross. This is one of the crosses of the dancer. We have to accept that there is a problem. If Shijit has a good artist dancer at Black Box, it's full, but it's also a very small theater. So we have to understand our potential as well. Should we be in smaller theaters? Should we not aspire to be in a music academy? Whatever. I don't know. But this is a thing. It would be a wonderful thing for us to actually sit down and dialogue on.
Can we bring these two temples back? It would be wonderful, Akka.
Which one?
If we can bring all the concerts back to temples instead of big, unaffordable theaters, would be fantastic, I guess.
In Chennai, a lot of kacheris happen in temples.
In the north, people go for top-notch auditoriums, which are not easily available, easily
But I must
affordable.
tell you that the temples don't give the dancer a very good stage. So, dancing on stone.
And have a Sai Sharam in every temple, no?
Yes.
Sir.
Sound
Akka, as a third person, I've always observed there is always a bias from the organizer and festival front. Always the music programs are given the priority, then the dance comes. First the music festival happens, then all the exclusive dance programs are always full, and dance festivals like Kalakshetra, Konark, I've traveled quite extensively for sound and playing tabla, and it has always been very generous, very respectful. And but if you see in Chennai, to be very honest, people are tired 30 days of music with food, and suddenly there is this dance program, and people are tired by then. I think they should also kind of, the organizers should ensure that fantastic programs are given prime importance. And I've also seen a fair bit of bias on musicians who sing for dance and don't want to sing for dance and other things. So I think the problem is with a very cultural mindset, to be very honest, because I have to break the ice here. People must know that to sing for dance or to play for dance is a lot more difficult, and I think
Absolutely.
they don't have the guts to do it sometimes. You just because ஒரு கல்பனாஸ்வரம் பாடணுமோ ஒரு சஞ்சாரி பாடணுமோ, you must be fit to do it. You just can't prepare it like a kriti kirtana and then you just go and sing it very nicely with set core wise. And suppose there is an incident on stage where probably the dancer has to go out and come, they must know to manage it. So I always feel you need fantastic musicians for dance. So people have to look up to dance musicians.
So true, so true.
That's it, Leelaka. I think we've answered all the questions that we.
Thank you so much, Akhila. Thank you to you. Thank you to Sai for joining us.
Thanks, Akka.
Thank you.
Thanks, Leelaka. Thanks to
Thank you, Akka.
Akhila and
Akhila,
hi to
thank
all
you,
the
Anna.
musicians. So it's
Srijit Anna,
pleasure to be
Sai.
here. Sudha,
Thank you, Anna.
I've been very
Thank
happy.
you.
Yeah, thank you.
So
Thank you to everyone who joined. We had a really good audience watching from different corners of the world. So thank you to everyone who joined. The conversation will be available on Alap's Facebook. We will also be uploading it on our YouTube page, so you can watch it there as well. Thank you. Have a good evening, good night, good day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you once
all
again.
of you.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.